So hi everyone. My name is Ivona Tau, and I'll be shedding some light on the mysterious artificial intelligence that you might have heard a little bit about. But there is still a lot of misconceptions with regards to AI art. So first of all, as NFTs have helped digital art become valuable and also find broader audiences, one of the genres that kept being so much more popular is generative art. And AI art is one of the subgenres of generative art, as it uses computers and code together with other tools to help artists express their goals. Now, what I like to compare current state of AI art to is actually photography. And currently, all AI artists who are practicing, they need to have a very good understanding of the technical details, very similarly as it happened at the beginning of photography. And people who made cyanotypes, daguerreotypes, they actually needed to know how to work the darkroom. They needed to know all the chemicals. They had to know a very deep understanding to even be able to make one single photograph. And it's very similar to what AI artists have right now. If you want to really create good AI art, you need to have at least some understanding of how neural networks work in order to be able to explore their challenges to the most. But now, as the time goes by, we are seeing more and more accessibility, and those tools become easier to use. Also, a lot of people start saying that, wow, it's so easy to create stuff with AI that it's actually, is it art if I just push a button and computer generates a thing? And yeah, that's essentially the same thing where we headed at as with photography. The thing that we have cameras in our back pockets does not mean that photography as a genre of art does not exist, but it also does not mean that every photograph is art. Art has different tools, different goals, and what really matters is what's the story behind it. So we are actually headed to the direction of accessibility with AI art, as we are seeing those methods such as VQGAN, Midjourney, and DALL-E, and you've probably seen a lot of the stuff that has been generated with AI. Those methods work as a text-to-image, so which means that user just uses any random text and is able to generate image with AI. Those pre-trained models have been actually trained already, so when you're using those tools, you're not training AI, you're just using inference. But they have been trained on such extensive data sets that combine all the knowledge on the internet, and they are able to grasp concepts and also combine those concepts. So what emerges is that we can get photorealistic results, but also we are able to combine things that, of course, have not existed in the training data, such as, for example, capturing the style of Piet Mondrian and also modifying the image to some extent. Now, the problem with those tools is that as they are so easy to use and anybody can use a text query and anybody can create, which is a very good thing, but also it is more challenging to artists to actually find their own voice. So what I've noticed in this space, the artists who are really successful with those tools are actually the ones that they use them as just part of the process. So we're seeing artists who take some of the outputs of Clip, Midjourney, DALL-E, and they add something on top of that. So they'll be adding digital brushes, they might be using some components of that, but this will essentially be a tool that they will use. A different kind of opportunity lies in finding a very particular set of text queries to be able to find your own consistent style. And this is actually one of the main goals and one ways in which artists could actually get successful when using AI and using cutting-edge technology is actually thinking about the narrative that we're trying to communicate. And I would argue that that's the thing that would distinguish between just playing with the technology, playing with the method, and creating something that would be historically significant. And as we've seen with other works, what is actually the most important is consistency, exploration of the medium, as well as finding your own voice. Now, not everyone realizes actually that AI art is not just text to image, and there is even a better way to express yourself, to explore surrounding environment, and to create even more mind-blowing things. And I'm talking about methods similar to GANs, and the ones in which you're actually able to leverage your data, if it's image, if it's sound, if it's text, and to create something new that has not existed before, but something that really corresponds to your collection. So, for example, when I'm training my GANs, I use a collection of photography that I did myself, and what happens is all the outputs are completely generative. So this is something that I have never captured on any of the cameras, on any of the films, but AI is trying to create the style that it has seen in this collection. So essentially, it's new, it's unseen, but it's also a way for GAN to see the world. So the last goal and the last opportunity of using AI is a very impressive way of seeing the world. So we as humans are a bit limited for our understanding, for our consciousness, but machines and artificial intelligence has a way broader way of seeing the world and capturing such huge data sets, capturing and analyzing those huge amounts of data. So what I think is most interesting about this technology is actually ability to have the set of lenses raising above the human gaze, and also allowing us to see the different dimensions of the world that perhaps we haven't seen. So this is all for this short talk. I hope that if there are any artists who have been interested in trying AI, will now have the chance at least to get inspired and maybe use the tool to their own explorations and finding their own voice. Thank you so much.